I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby! Come on! Let's go!
How have I been successful in life?
Holy cow. An interesting crew this week on the MMA Analysis podcast. I am not used to hosting. We usually got Bradley for that, and Lance on his rare occasions. I don't know. He keeps saying that maybe next year, but I don't know. He's in the Eastern time zone. I think he's no longer gonna be watching any UFC. He's going to bed at like 10 o'clock. So that's not gonna happen. And yeah, Bradley is enjoying the ocean, hopping on the in-laws boat. Like
he's Captain Ron in it down there, straight up. This man's probably so drunk and high at this point. Just try
waters.
Well, I mean, at least you don't have to worry about getting shot out on the water. Like you can come down to the States, come down to Florida, fucking crazy state. Just go out in the ocean. You're fucking way safer out there.
How are you doing, Wes?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Yeah, we got the two newest dads on the show this week. I'm not sure. Bradley's probably the smartest one of us, so I think he's going to probably stay away from fatherhood, which is
he likes his money, so he is making a wise decision there.
If you like your money, your time, your freedom, your routine, just everything good about life.
Yeah.
No, but it's when you start getting months into it and a year into it, and you start seeing the actual growth and progress of a creature that you made, there's no feeling like it. And that's coming from somebody that never planned on having a kid, never really wanted a kid. There are a few things that I've had like literally touch me as much as like watching my son start learning things and do things. It's really fucking cool, man. And congrats on
Thank you, sir,
brother.
Yeah, she came a little early, almost 3 weeks, and so I mean, physically with all the things we needed to have a baby, we were ready. Mentally, I don't think we were quite ready. The wife was basically supposed to have a couple more days off, and then she was going to take 2 weeks off of work just to kind of get last things ready, and baby decided to come, and so now we had to scramble a bit to do some of the things that she planned on doing at that point. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's a wild experience.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you did mention though, like no C-section. My wife ended up having a C-section after like 20 hours of labor.
Yeah.
Never look over the curtain. Just never.
Oh, come on.
You're ever in that position.
Man.
Never look over the sheet where they're doing the C-section, because you want to talk about like a horror film. It is a legit real life fucking horror film. When they pulled your wife's guts out and
reincarnating some Saw shit.
Bro, it's wild. That's a wild fucking experience, man.
The human body is a crazy thing. We'll just say that it does some wild shit, and for the most part bounces back pretty damn good. Babies are useless compared to, you know, most other animals in the world. But the human body is a crazy thing.
Babies are beyond useless. They are literally like
I grew up on a farm. Like cows are just like walking right away.
Yeah.
They suck pretty much on their own. They're just good to go. You don't really have to do most of the time much to help the mothers along, and then there's humans who
for something that grows up to be an intelligent creature like we do. We sure are just absolutely shitballs for years, and it's a while. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but But yeah, should be fun. It's gonna be an experience. The teenager finally had a child, so now I'm a teenage father. So that's what everybody wants. So
You need a show. You gotta get out, you gotta get signed, man. That's
you know,
MTV.
I
Where
need.
you at?
Hey, I'll take any extra money you got. So
I mean, with the way the bets have gone this year,
woo. As my name says, this is the last chance to fade me in 2023. It's I don't think this card is it doesn't have the top of the top at the top end, but it is absolutely stacked throughout.
Mhm.
Which is good to see. A lot of the times they used to do those like New Year's Eve cards or close to New Year's Eve, and it would used to be very good cards. And I don't know, in recent years, I feel like it's hasn't been as big of cards, and I don't know. They pulled out the stops on this one, so grateful to go out like this. Hopefully, it performs as well as it looks on paper, because we have basically about a month off till the next card, which should give everybody plenty of time to sign up for ToutMaster 2024. Yeah, the race is actually pretty tight. I don't know. I feel
I
like
didn't look
most
at it.
years-
I haven't looked at it. Where's our boy at? Our boy was right there. Our boy Beast Mode. I noticed he was right there for weeks, and then he started dropping a little bit.
So he is in. I think he's in fourth.
Oh,
So it's yeah.
man, he was right around first and second
It's
for
so tough, man.
months.
Because even
Yep.
me last year, like I was in first or second for about 8 months last year, and then I didn't even finish in the money. Like it is a absolute
The
journey to
the year before, I did the same thing.
same thing.
I was
Yeah.
like a half a point out of first for weeks, a point out of first, and then I ended up like fifth or sixth, something like that. It the way this year is gone too. If you win it this year, if you even say get top 3 or 5 this year with the way this year's gone, man,
Impressive.
like it really is. And plus we had like our deepest field we've had in quite a few years too. Like
Yeah, we got the Dogger Pass push from
yeah,
the boys over there, which was very much appreciated. So yeah, like first place is about 3 points, just under 3 points ahead, which is actually probably one of the closer ones in ToutMaster history. There's a lot of times where first is like 8 or 9 points ahead going into the last
Mhm.
card, but it's relatively close. It's still kind of anybody's ball game, and if you look at second through sixth is like 7 points apart. Like it's actually a pretty tight race. So it should be.
Our boy Bailey's been around that top 5 all
Bailey
year
has dropped a little bit. It's insane because he's in 10th and he
and
missed a
missed an
card.
event. Yep.
And nobody has ever placed in the money while missing a event. And he's in 10th right now. That is a paid spot. So he could do it. It's impressive that he's been able to get that close with
Chris
an away event.
is he's like unknown to everybody and is sharp as shit. Like
Yeah.
legitimately, Chris. He said he acts like a nonchalant. I don't know my shit. I just throw these big parlay cards. I tell Cody's fucking bullshit. Chris knows what he's doing. He wins the Gamble Masters. When we would do those, when it's actually gambling
High
money and
stake
shit.
ones too, yeah. Like
Chris is very, very good. Knows what the fuck he's doing.
you betcha. Yeah. So good luck to everybody that's close to the top, and hopefully it should
Pulling
be
for
a
beast
good
mode.
finish.
Pulling for our boy.
Obviously pulling for he's actually in fifth, so hopefully he can climb a couple spots on Saturday. And then I'll be sending out the sign up info for next year. So hopefully we get, probably won't get as many as we did this year, but we're hoping to get 100+ people would be awesome, because it's a fun one. It keeps you interested in pretty much every UFC card, which is a bit of a struggle these days. So at least it keeps you tuning in, right?
There's a very, very slim chance that we have Gamble Master back next year. That would be pretty good. That would be pretty good. Very slim though. It's not. I wouldn't put it at a good chance, but very slim chance. And with like you doing most of ToutMaster now, not having to mess with that part of it.
Yeah.
Maybe we get some Gamble Master next year.
You can always hope. But yeah, with that stuff out of the way, we'll rip through last week's card. I caught the main card. I didn't really catch the prelim card. I was a bit busy with the baby, but starting off in the women's strawweight division, something called Talita Alankar. Split decision, big surprise there. Those should be auto bets for anybody who has that option to just bet every women's fight, basically to get split or majority decision. She beat Rayan Dos Santos. I don't know why Tatsuro Taira is still fighting that low and against the guys that he's fighting, but he did, and he knocked out Carlos Hernandez in the second round. Catchweight bout between Luana Santos and Stephanie Egger. This one was a unanimous decision. From what I read, it was probably closer than what some of the cards were, but who really cares? Steve Garcia knocks out
Bingo.
You betcha. I was on that as well. Probably would have been consensus and then probably would have lost, but what can you do? He knocks out Costa in the second round. The hype train falls short again. Something called Park Hyun Sung knocks out Shannon Ross, who should not be in the UFC, should not have been in the UFC a long time ago. So not sure what the reason that is. And then Kevin Josette defeats Song Kanon by unanimous decision. What do you got here, Wes?
Yeah, that first fight, the split, insane decision. Insane. That chick absolutely lost that fight. It was kind of close, but it was one of those really bad cards again. We get all those. I think Tiara might actually be the fucking real. Like, if he's gonna have some power like that. Now, it was like a clean shot with Hernandez's chin up in the air, but man, still at 125 to starch a dude like that, ground game sick. We saw it again that fight. That guy's good. He's got to get a step up. Can we stop putting these random lower weight class, high level fights on between like these two chick fights and shit on the bottom of the card? It's madness. I don't understand it. Yeah, Santos won that fight. I don't know what people's talking about there. Yeah, Garcia, nice plus 215, I believe, on him. Needed that. Steve Garcia is a tough out, man. Like, I think any level of dude like Costa, if you're gonna get plus 200 on Steve Garcia, you almost gotta take it every single time. Dude's got cardio, pressure, can hit. Like, that's what you want 2-1 on. Park is fun. Like, that dude's offense and output was fun as hell. But I tell you what, I tweeted that night, he had Shannon Ross looking like prime fucking Costa Zoo, bro. You know, that dude got hit all over the place by Shannon Ross. So he's gonna get fucked up by somebody with a little bit of skill. Fun as hell though. And yeah, the Jesuit, that his offense is pretty good, man. But I bet Song in that fight. I don't think I've ever seen Song like that tentative, literally doing nothing. Like, I know the jab was pumping on him and kind of kept keeping him off rhythm and shit the whole fight, but he just refused to do anything. So I usually always like to bet on Song against these type of dudes at dog money. That ride might be about over.
Andre Muniz allegedly defeats the Iron Turtle by split decision. Tim Elliott definitely beats Sumaderji by technical submission, arm triangle choke. That was awesome. And Nasrat Hakparas absolutely just batters Jamie Malarkey. What do you got here, Wes?
I mean, Muniz, I guess, won that fight, but come on, man. Muniz is bad. I don't know.
It's wild. It's wild how good he was, or it seemed. And I don't know if he just got old overnight. I don't know what happened, but like, he's just nowhere near what we thought he was.
It's really one of the biggest, like, man, this guy's really good. I know our boy Steve, British Steve, was liking Muniz to be a champ. He literally said Muniz would beat Izzy right now. And I guess what we all saw, we were like, God damn, yeah, it'd be a tough fucking outfit. I don't know, man. I don't know if he hasn't like literally added anything to his game as he's stepped up in comp. His cardio looks absolutely horrendous.
Terrible.
I just don't know that it is one of the biggest like falls that I can remember recently that we were like, God damn, this guy could be a champ to holy shit, he's really bad.
Yeah, of course, in hindsight, when you do look at the wins, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe they weren't as impressive as we thought at the time. Now, of course, he had a bunch of finishes and subbing Jacare even at the what he was in
Yeah.
2011 or 2021. So maybe he just fooled us with some of these finishes, and 185 is terrible. So maybe that's what it was. But yeah, this a pretty big fall from grace, and yeah, I don't think he won that fight. You can definitely give Park the first and third.
I scored it for Turtle. I mean, my whole thing is like, I guess you could make us like case for Muniz, but I scored it for Turtle. I was a little biased, of course. I had some Turtle money. If they fought 10 more times, I'd probably bet Turtle as a fucking 2-1 fave 10 more times. He's the better guy. I don't think that doesn't take a ton away from the old Iron Turtle for me, but he's got to figure out how. I don't know, man. He was putting himself in spots to where Muniz could get those fall on him takedowns and shit.
Yeah.
He's got to be smarter than that, and he would have easily won that fight. Tim Elliott's just a madman. I love that dude. Watch that guy anytime. I love his post-fight speech too, to where he's like, "Look, I'm not a title contender anymore. Give me bangers. Let me bang, bro, and I'm all down for that. Pay that guy. Watch Tim Elliott anytime he fights."
Sure.
Hasbrat stopped a dude for the first time in his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you gonna do? I took a little malarkey. Like, it wasn't like a big bet, but that kind of number against Hasbrat, I figured we was looking at a close decision, and I was going to take malarkey at that kind of price, and something I thought was going to be a close decision. And Hasbrat comes out there and I finishes a guy for the first time and forever. It is malarkey who's got a sort of shaky chin, but nobody saw that. If you saw Hasbrat smoking Jamie Malarkey like that, buy a fucking lottery ticket.
He also still had to hit him like 300 times before he put it out. Like, Hakparas has negative power. It's pretty wild, but yeah, I was with you. I had a small play in Malarkey, and yeah, that's just the way she goes. Moving on up, light heavyweight, Khalil Roundtree absolutely destroys Anthony Smith and could have destroyed him much worse. Probably could have stopped that fight even earlier, but what can you do? And then Song Yadong wins a very boring decision against Chris Gutierrez. What do you got, Wes?
Yeah, man, Roundtree he had Anthony Smith doing the stanky leg multiple times and just refused to follow up.
I had the under 2.5, and I was absolutely freaking out. Like, dude, what are you doing? I guess that is.
I had him inside the distance. Yeah, I had Roundtree inside the distance.
I thought we were both screwed because
I was losing my mind.
He could have finished him. It was the first that he rocked him, I'm pretty sure, and just didn't even try to follow up. I was like, what are you doing?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there was another time in the second round where he stunned him again, and even when he finished the fight, he refused to follow up. He literally dropped him and I get it at that point, like he held the hammer fist, but literally Mark Smith is a foot back, just staring at Anthony Smith, rolling around on the ground. And I'm like, are you stopping this? Khalil Roundtree's got his hammer up in the air. Like, that pick is just stone cold. That's an incredible pick. But Mark Smith's like just standing there looking at Anthony Smith like, dude, he's going to kill the guy. Like, jump in and stop the fight. He finally does. Look, Anthony Smith is like, I've bet against him a ton the past few years.
Yep.
This is what he is. Like, he he's tough as fuck. I don't want to take nothing from
Crazy
Anthony
durable.
Smith. Yeah, the
Crazy
dude, him getting his teeth knocked loose and shit. And was it the Glover fight where he got his fucking teeth about knocked loose and shit? That guy is tough as hell, durable as shit. But look, at this point, he's fucking beyond shop worn, and any clean shot hurts him. So I love Roundtree in this, and like, man, Roundtree has gotten really fucking good. Roundtree is like, I think he's going to be one of those guys at 205 that a lot of people is not signing up to fight with that kind of power at this
Hell
point.
no.
So, I mean, I like the shoot for the stars. Maybe you land on the moon kind of thing and calling out Pereira.
It's better than saying, "Oh, just fight whoever the UFC wants me to fight."
Yep. And I mean, we talked about it like last year, the year before, when that dude retired, literally retired, came back. Dude looks like he's absolutely shredded now. If you saw pictures of Roundtree years ago and why he started even working out, dude was like 300 pounds or some shit.
Yep.
Like the guy's, he's gotten really good, man. I don't know if he's a contender at 205, but it's 205, man. Like, who up in the top 7, 8, 9 that he could knock out? He could knock out any of those guys, man. That division is so shitty at this point. Like, Roundtree could absolutely be a top 5 guy in the light heavyweight division current day. And I'm happy for him. I hope he gets a big fight, and I hope he keeps
Violent.
Yep.
Gotta love violence.
Song Yadong, man, disappointment. Like, great dominant performance, but come on, dude, you got to finish a leg kicker. Yeah, a dude that literally his only path to doing anything against you is leg kicking you, and you leg kick the shit out of him and fuck his leg. You got to finish that fight, man. You got to. Dominant performance, but it's Chris fucking Gutierrez, and I don't know who the people were hyping Gutierrez up to this point to where he gets a main event against a top
It's pretty wild,
dude in the division. But come on, man, it's Chris Gutierrez. I think the whole thing with like Mark Montoya having the cancer and shit, the story, I think that did help Gutierrez get some big fights over the past year. He's an okay fighter, man. I bet on him. Song Yadong is very, very good, man, but you got to finish guys like this if you want the big fights.
And he rocked him, and he just went straight for a takedown. Of course, I was super frustrated. I had on the under 4.5.
I did too.
I thought that they were going to throw down a bunch more than what happened. I know Felder was given props throughout most of the fight to Gutierrez because he was making Song Yadong miss. But yeah, you also have to do something offensively. You can't just make the other guy miss and do nothing. Like, it's terrible to watch, and it's not a way to win. Yeah, that was frustrating to watch. I do think Song Yadong could have been, especially later in the fight, he could have been more aggressive and probably could have got him out of there. But he decided to grapple, showed off some decent ground and pound.
He's good. He's good. He's good. He really is. He's good. It's fun. Another one of those team alpha male things, though, man. I'm just not sure that guys can be like title level dudes out of that camp. I don't know what it is about that camp, man. They seem to get guys to a certain point, and that's about it. They can't never get over the hump of the upper echelon. But we'll see. I think the guy's very, very talented. The dude's like, Sandhagen and shit. We've seen that fight. I don't think he's that level. I'm not sure he can ever be that level, but he's good.
Not at that camp. Maybe if he moves and he can take another step somewhere, but yeah, he's good. I just think there's limits to him at this point.
Imagine if he was at a place like Cejudo's new camp down in Arizona. Imagine if he was training with those dudes and learning from that guy, the wrestling and the shit from those dudes. I think it'd be different.
I agree with you, Wes. Well, we ripped through that card. It was not the greatest when it comes to quality, but it was a fun card, and we got some decent finishes on guys that we like. So not the worst thing, but this Saturday is the real deal. Last card of the year, and it's pretty stacked. So we will dive right into it. Starting off the night. It's pretty good when you're starting off the night in the welterweight division. Randy Brown taking on Muslim Salikhov. What do you got, Wes?
Yeah. This is it's a tough one for me. I'm a longtime Randy Brown better at this point, and probably not seeing too much. Well, there's one thing that's kind of pushing me off here, and that's Randy Brown being minus 260 in a fight. I usually like to get Randy Brown at even money, slight face, slight dog. But I do kind of like him in this fight. I think he's probably not going to have to worry about a dude fucking chihuahua on his legs in this fight, trying to take him down, trying to grab his ankles and shit and pull him down. Think this is going to end up being a kickboxing match for the most part. And, we know about Salikhov's kickboxing and striking, and it's decent. I just think he's gonna have a little bit of problem with the size and the length in this fight, as most dudes do when they kickbox Randy Brown. So, lean Randy Brown. I'm having a hard time betting Randy Brown at fucking minus 260 though. I think it probably goes 15 though. Brown by decision is only plus 130. So just nothing really here that's tickling my fancy. So I'm probably gonna have to pass on a Randy Brown fight. But I think you like a little something different here. So
Yeah, I like Salikhov a bit here. The length is going to be tough for him. I also think Randy Brown probably can kind of wall install a bit. But in a striking fight, and you're giving me kind of plus 200 on Muslim Salikhov, it's hard for me not to take that. Salikhov has very good striking defense, so I do think this is just going to be a close fight. It's going to go to decision, and I don't mind having plus 220 on a guy that's a very good striker. He is getting up there in age. That is concerning. He did get beat up a bunch by Nicholas Dalby. I think he looked okay until Dalby just ran him over. He pumped
Dalby's apparently like some superhuman now, though.
Yeah, he cranked up the EPO and just kind of took over that fight. But I think it's going to be, for the most part, a striking fight. Salikhov is a very good striker. It's probably going to be a close decision, and I'll take the plus 220. So I put a unit on that, but Randy Brown probably wins a decision. So I'll lose some money right off the bat. And we're going up to the big boys. Heavyweight division. Martin Buday is taking on Shamil Gaziev. What you got?
At least this is like second from the bottom instead of second from the top. That's what they usually like to do with these. Yeah, man, I don't know what to think of Gaziev. Like, good, okay win on Contender Series. Usually you see these guys destroying like bums and shit getting to the UFC. Like, he knocked out Darko Stosic in the first round, who's not he's not horrible. Like, he's not UFC level at this point. And I don't know about these other dudes like that he beat. I didn't see these fights. Like, dudes with good records, but nobody's ever heard of them. So they're probably can crushers themselves. I mean, Buday is what he is. Like, I don't think the guy's great, but man, he'll implement what he does. He'll try to get a hold of you. He'll get on top. He'll lay. If he doesn't get starched, I think he's got a path here. Was absolutely hoping for a 1.5. I knew I was never going to get that in this fight, because I think this is probably going 15 minutes with Buday on top of this guy. Just humping and praying that he doesn't get caught with anything before it gets there. So I'm probably going to bet super fatties. I think it was like slight plus money last time I looked at it. What are we at now? Plus 104. Yeah, I don't see a lot of shops. Most are going to have your 1.5s.
Plus 160 goes to decision at Bud Online.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'm probably going to end up with the 1.5 in some sort of small parlay too, just because it's like minus 175 at some. But I like us to go 15, and I'm probably going to take a small little stab on Buday by decision at plus 215 is out there. maybe just stay with that fight goes at plus 160. You're just losing a little bit. And then, if Gaziev somehow pulls off a decision, which I do not see, I think Gaziev has to catch Buday, or he's going to spend some time on his back getting humped. And I hope we see a shitty 15 minutes of Martin Buday doing some humping here.
I don't know who Martin Buday's manager is, but holy fuck, has he
Yeah.
got soft competition? Really hasn't got a single step up, and he is undefeated in the UFC. He's got 4 wins. He won on the Contender Series, but yeah, like Josh Parisian, Jake Collier, Lucas Reschke, Chris Barnett, Lorenzo Hood.
That's the Murderers Row, the t-shirt in the pool, bro. God damn.
Yeah, he is just waiting in the t-shirt in the pool division and just absolutely crushing. I mean, not even some of these guys he's beaten by split decision and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm just surprised he hasn't got to step up and got smoked. But so I guess this is a decent test for a guy coming off the Contender Series to see how shitty he is, because if you beat Buday, then I guess you're better than the bottom of the barrel, and if you lose, you are the bottom of the barrel. I'll pick Buday. He's much more well established, and this is terrible low level heavyweights, so that's the direction I am going. We're going down, way down to the featherweight division. Andre Touchy-Fili taking on Lucas Almeida.
Yeah, this should be pretty fun. I thought Fili looked fairly good for most of the fight against Wood. Wood's actually had some pretty decent performances lately, so I don't think it's a horrible loss. It was a good close fight. Almeida gets trucked by Sabatini. I think if this is on the feet, though, like Almeida's probably got a slight advantage, but it's close. I like Fili on the mat, though. If this gets scrambling and shit, which I think it could at some points, I think Fili could catch something here. I'm not looking to lay minus 170 on Andre Fili. Those are just kind of not good spots on him usually. He's really boom or bust at this point. He pulls something off, or he's in a wild fight that he's winning, and then something happens and he loses. I could see that absolutely happening here. Probably not going to lay anything on a money line, but I was looking at Fili by sub as like plus 600 at Bet Online. I think that's probably his best path here. Is this gets a little scrambly on the mat and he catches something on Almeida. Well, like I said, we saw Almeida get subbed by Sabatini. Now that's a very different kind of sub. That's Sabatini wrestling and getting on top and getting more of a power sub. But yeah, I don't know. It's a close fight. One, I don't really want to lay any sort of juice on Fili. I like him in the spot. I might sprinkle that sub, but this just seems like a close fight where any number of things could happen.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. I'm not really touching this fight.
Yeah.
I think Fili's the better overall fighter, but that chin of his has kind of showed up a couple times recently, and just kind of throughout his UFC career. And Almeida does throw some wild shit, so it's possible that just throws and catches that chin. But I kind of side with Fili being just better overall, grappling, striking. He just doesn't have the power advantage. So I'll pick Fili to win a decision. But it should be a fun fight. Wherever this happens, the scrambles, the on the feet striking, it should be a good one. Down a little bit more, flyweight division. Tagir Ulanbekov taking on everybody's favorite racist, Cody Durden.
Man, I just watched that Colby video right before I jumped on. Colby saying Bilal's not going to get a title shot because Bilal's a racist. And like these
troll, just the troll.
Yeah, but I mean, there's these people on the right now that have gotten to the point to where they call black people racist, and I just find it fucking hilarious.
Oh, they
And
just fuck with people. They don't. They
yeah. Well, they just project like a
yeah.
fucking like a 80-inch screen on the side of a fucking building. Like, um, I I think I'm probably gonna bet the racist in this spot. Like Ulanbekov can be grappled, man. He can be grinded. Um, what does Cody Durden do? Pretty fucking well, man. That dude can grind. So I think Cody Durden can grind a decision here. So I like him as I think there's some plus 145 out there right now. Durden by decisions plus 200. Not a big jump. Yeah, probably just stick with some money line. I think Durden can grind to a decision here. I think that's a pretty decent price on a guy that either which way this goes, it's going to be a very close fight. So take the dog.
I agree with you. I took plus 145 for a unit. As we saw with Ulanbekov in the Elliott fight, in the Silva fight, he
Yep.
can be grappled. These guys are small guys, so no one has usually elite takedown defense at 125. And Cody Durden's got good
And he can
offensive
wrestle.
wrestling.
Yeah,
He can wrestle his ass off, and he's shown decent cardio considering basically he just all out wrestles the whole time because his striking is not great. If this does stay on the feet for a prolonged time, then you gotta think that Ulanbekov's going to be able to outstrike him.
Yeah, use that
just
length. Yeah.
the length, and he's just much more skilled. But Durden grinds, pushes the pace. I think this is going to be a close fight. So plus 145, I had to take it. So let's go racism. Up to some big boys, light heavyweight division. Alonzo Menifield taking on Dustin Jacoby.
Yeah, I favor Jacoby in this fight. I think he's just a more technical kickboxer at this point. His takedown defense has gotten pretty decent, so I'm not sure Menifield's gonna get takedowns. If Menifield spams some takedowns and shit, he's just gonna gas himself. So I think these dudes are gonna throw hands. And I know you posted in our chat, like, I think there's a bet on this fight that's actually like really good. Under 2.5 in this fight at around minus 110 is kind of crazy to me. I know Menifield's been in a couple decisions lately, but those are like outliers like a motherfucker if you watch how he fights and how his fights usually go down. Menifield making it to any kind of decision is fucking crazy every time it happens. Like him going 15 is usually priced at like minus 600, minus 800. Every time it happens, people are tweeting, this fight to go to the decision was fucking plus 700, plus 800 because his fights are fucking madness. They throw down every time. Menifield's got insane power. The dudes he's fighting usually have good power. I just have a really fucking hard time seeing one of these dudes not getting knocked. Like Jacoby's chin isn't great either. Like that dude's been knocked out. Menifield gets clipped. Like I love under 2.5 in this spot. That's going to be my bet. I'm going to stay away from the side. I like Jacoby to get him out of there at some point, but Menifield could absolutely dead Jacoby in fucking 30 seconds. So I love the under in this spot. I think it's a one of the better bets on a really good betting card.
Right there with you. Yeah, under 2.5, minus 125 for a unit. Like you, I think Menifield's going to come out hot, throw them hands, and dust this guy, or he doesn't, and he's going to gas out and get picked apart, and he's just going to get volumed and end up getting finished. I know Dustin Jacoby doesn't have that many finishes. The Kenny Nunchucks knockout last time kind of came out of fucking nowhere. But he's got a couple first round finishes in the UFC. And his striking is sharp. So I think even if he doesn't do it right away, I think he's just going to tag a tired Menifield and get him out of there. I'll pick Menifield in ToutMaster to get the big upset because he does have some ridiculous power. So, but under 2.5, yeah, I very much like it as well. So, We're on the prelim card on ESPN2, women's flyweight. We've gone this far without a women's fight. That's pretty good. There's only one on this card. That might be why this card is so stacked. We got Casey O'Neill taking on Ariana Lipski.
Yeah, I don't have very much interest in this fight. I do favor Lipski though as a dog here. I think Casey O'Neill is just overhyped and just I don't know where the hype came from on Casey O'Neill. I mean, her last two fights, she's literally got a split against a retired fighter and another old lady in Jennifer Maya. Like she lost that fight, looked like absolute shit in it. You usually always know what you're gonna get with Lipski. Like she's gonna scrap for your money. So I might throw a couple bucks on Lipski as a dog here, and probably definitely gonna, since I got the legals now, I don't know what the price is, but the split decision on this is probably a golden bet because there's almost a guarantee this fight is some sort of split decision if it gets to the cards.
Yeah, like I mean, it's what's the price to go to decision? It's like almost minus 200. So it's probably going to decision, and it's probably going to be close. So that split decision prop. Hopefully it's in the plus 350 plus 400 range, and that would be worth taking. I really don't care. This is a stack card with very good fighters, so I did not really spend much time looking into this one. I'll trust you. I'll pick Lipski, and we will not care because this will be a dog walk 15 or 30-minute break.
Change a diaper.
Change a diaper break, whatever you got to do. That's the time to do it because we don't have too many spots on this card where we can take some breaks. So yeah, this will be it. Bantamweight division. Cody Garbrandt is back, and they're trying to get him a win. And he is taking on Brian Kelleher.
Man, could you like Garbrandt under 2-1 against Boom Boom is just, in any other time would be just insane. Look, I think Cody's starting to get around to some other spots for some training and shit. Like talent wise in this fight, man, this is like two different fucking stratospheres as far as talent goes. Your only worry here is that chin so fucked that Boom Boom can knock Garbrandt out? I don't know. I guess anybody can knock out Cody at this point, but I think Kelleher's like this crazy power and shit that he's been known for years. That shit's so overrated, man. Like he got a couple guys and shit years back, and then it just became something like he's got this crazy knockout power. I don't know how much that is. I mean, we look back on his fights, like he couldn't get Simone out of there, Domingo Pilarte, Kevin Kroom and shit. Where's this crazy power when he can't finish bums like this? If Cody doesn't get starts, I think he's going to smoke Brian Kelleher. Like all the skills are still there for Garbrandt. We've seen them. Like all the skills are still there. You're straight up worrying about one thing in this fight. And will that chin hold up? I think it will personally. So I like Garbrandt to get a win here. And I will be looking to parlay him with something. I'm not sure how many times you're going to get Cody at a price like this against a guy of this stature. You know what I'm saying? Like under 2-1 against Kelleher, who's coming off like getting absolutely smoked in his past two fights. Like if Garbrandt wanted, he could absolutely wrestle in this fight. Like he could take Kelleher down and fuck him up if he wanted to. Like there's just so many pass there. At a price like that, you got to just roll the dice and hope that chin is good enough to stand up to Brian Kelleher.
Yeah, Kelleher has fought 15 times in the UFC. He has 2 knockouts.
Yep,
one against Damon Stasiak in the 3rd round, and the other one against Hunter Azure, where Hunter Azure beat the shit out of him for 1 round and then gassed, and then Kelleher caught him in the 2nd round. He has 3 other finishes. They're all subs in the 1st round. A lot of
where
times
he catches
a couple minutes.
Guillotine. Yeah.
I don't see him guillotining Cody Garbrandt. So, and how does he win decisions? He grapples guys. He out grapples guys. He's able to take them down and get top position. I don't think he's going to be able to do
No,
that consistently against Cody Garbrandt. So,
no.
really, it comes down to, can Cody Garbrandt's chin hold up for 15 minutes? I think it can. This is a guy that has been fading Garbrandt pretty much
So-
nonstop for a very, very long time. But this is just an absolute horrible matchup for Kelleher. They are trying to get him a win. I think he gets it. I put him in a parlay, in a 1-unit parlay. I don't know. Kelleher is pretty tough. I don't know if he gets him out of there, but I think this is going to be a very decisive win for Cody Garbrandt. Well, I'm stupid, and turns out there is one more women's fight on this card. Unfortunately, women's bantamweight division: Irene Aldana versus Carol Rosa.
Yeah, I wish we just would have forgot about this fight like we did 3 minutes ago. I think Aldana is just way overhyped. Like, she's not very good. She gets a title shot, literally stinks to show up. Picking Rosa as a dog and ToutMaster. That's about all I got.
It's a wild step down from fighting for the belt against Amanda Nunes, and then you're fighting Carol Rosa after that.
Should have been always fighting the Carol Rosas of the world, though. Honestly,
fair. Aldana has fought the better people, but this is still fairly low level stuff. I will pick the underdog in ToutMaster, and we will get another bum change in that one. Featherweight division, short notice. Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell. What do we got here, Wes?
Yeah, man, 6 months after a beating like that, just it seems a little fast to me. Because goddamn, and man, two this year, Emmett took
back.
Yeah, just that last one. Oh man. Now matchup wise, even though I thought Bryce Mitchell like looked about as good as he has overall and all around in his last fight against Dan Ige, I think this is a very good matchup for Josh Emmett. I think this is going to be a boxing match. Bryce Mitchell's going to want this on the ground like usual, but man, who gets Josh Emmett down? Like who's ever gotten Josh Emmett down consistently? I don't think Bryce Mitchell can. And at this point, Emmett's just better all around fucking kickboxer than even Dan Ige is. Like that fight, I was on Ige. You could see the miles on Ige in that fight, like big time. You could see all the fights that guys had. It's just, he ain't it at this point. My big worry is what I mentioned to start with, though, man. 6 months after a fight like that, and 2 fights, just brutal fights this year already. That's my worry. But man, this is a really bad matchup for Bryce Mitchell, and you're getting, what is it at this point? I mean, you're getting almost 2-1 out there on Bet Online on Josh Emmett. That's almost, you have to take that. If Bryce Mitchell does to Josh Emmett what he did to Dan Ige, then you got me. You know what I'm saying? He's a notch below Topuria, Bryce Mitchell. Like, if he can do what he did to Ige to Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell's very, very good. He's just not Topuria fucking level good. I'm not sure he's better than Josh Emmett on the feet. So 2-1, I'll take that chance.
Agree with you again, Wes.
Yeah, we're gonna get absolutely smoked Saturday night.
It's gonna be a slaughter. Yeah, like Josh Emmett, he has like Topuria took him down and smashed him. Fair enough, Topuria.
Yeah,
elite. Yeah. Other than that, like Ige allegedly got him down once, but he got 20 seconds of control time. Like you might be able to take him down a couple times, but you're not. He's gonna pop back up. So I like Bryce Mitchell, I think, will get exposed in this fight. He's very good against guys that will succumb to his pace and his grappling. The pace part, I guess maybe he could could overtake Emmett, but the grappling, I think he is going to gas himself out because Emmett is going to be able to stop these takedowns. And when this is on the feet, Josh Emmett hits like a fucking truck. And, Bryce Mitchell can take some shit. I wouldn't be taking too much shit from Josh Emmett. This dude is...
He gets damaged too, though. Like, Mitchell's got a really good chin, but he takes damage. Like, his eyes swell up and shit. Yeah.
He gets hit. Like, it's... like, he has fairly good striking defense, but man, like, he does... the statistics don't say he gets hit much because, of course, he's grappling all the time, and guys can't really punch him when he's either on top of them or just up against him and stuff like that. But, like, when he's been in a extended kickboxing fight, he does get touched up. And of course the concern is the beatings that Emmett took, but like you said, I think this is a very good stylistic matchup. The number would be a lot shorter, I think, if this wasn't short notice, if Emmett took a little bit more time off, but I like this stylistically. I took Emmett. I got him for a unit and a half, a plus 195, and I took him by KO at plus 450 at bet 365.
That's not horrible.
That is a big number for a guy that has very, very big power, and that's where he's going to want this fight, is on the feet. So we will see how that goes. On to the pay-per-view card. Welterweight division. Vicente Luque taking on Ian Machado Garry.
Yeah, I mean, this one's just pretty easy for me. I don't have a ton of quote unquote breakdown of this fight. Beat Luque, motherfucker. Beat Luque.
Show me.
Like, you want the hype, you want all this. You've beat bums. You've literally beat bums. I'll never forget you being touched up by the fucking insulin motherfucker in your first fight. Like, I remember that shit. That was a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a different dude. This is a step up. I kind of like wrote Luque off a little bit coming into his last fight against RDA.
Same.
I thought I had a good reason for it, because Luque had looked really, really bad. He fought different in his last fight. Like, he fought one of his most intelligent fights that he's ever fought in his career against RDA, and looked as good as he had in years. Man, if I can get that Luque to show up, I think I can. I know the hands are there. I know the grappling's there. Man, show me, dude. Fucking show me you want that hype. Luque at fucking plus 280 against this kid. God damn, are we serious right now? Like, is the hype that fucking real? Luque he beat RDA last time out. Think what you want about Luque, knock it all out. Look at his life. He beat RDA and looked incredible doing it. Gonna have to show me a plus 280. I'll take some Luque here. I hope he smokes this motherfucker. This is one of those dudes that's climbing up my list. Is one of the most unlikable fucking guys that we see in this sport. So there's a couple of them on this card, and we'll get to them. But I hope Luque fucking touches this guy up, and for that kind of price, I'm gonna pay to find out.
This is a very good test for Garry. Man, Luque's the guys that he's fought is pretty much the elite of the elite at the time, and he's done fairly well against most of them. There's been some tough stylistic matchups, I guess, but obviously the concern is the brain health. But he proved me wrong against RDA. Does he prove me? I hope he proves me right in this time, because I'm backing him. But that will be in the back of my mind. But like, Ian Garry has been taken down by guys that are way worse than Luque. I think Luque, what he showed against RDA, that is what he should do in this fight, and is grapple this dude, because I think that is the smartest way, the way that he's going to take way less head drama. And I think he can have a lot of success there. If it's on the feet, Garry is good on the feet, but his defense is a bit questionable. Luque his defense is questionable as well, but his offense is very good. So this is a good test for Garry. I got a bag Luque. I got plus 305. I bet on mine. I got a unit on that. I'm taking a bunch of dogs here, and I might be going home sad, but
we're going down in flames, bro.
Yeah, but at that price, like, come on. Like, yep. I need to see it. I think that Ian Garry is pretty fraudulent, and I've been wrong. I've been wrong a lot, especially this year, but I've been wrong in the past. But this is a very good test, and that number is wild. So I'm in on Luque. Let's see what happens. So yeah. On to possibly some more sadness. Lightweight division. Tony Ferguson, Paddy Pimblett. How sad are we going to be on Saturday, Wes?
Probably doubly sad because Tony's going to lose and I'm going to lose money in the process.
Bam, bam.
So we might as well hurt bad. Look, I don't. Paddy Pimblett's not good. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Jared Gordon beat his ass and got absolutely robbed. Like one of the worst fucking robberies you could have. I mean, that's exaggerating, but just for all the circumstances when the whole world, even the Paddy fans, even the old Barstool fucking dipshit who's giving Paddy money was like, I don't know about that one, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, Tony is beyond fucking gone. But I tell you what, he didn't look bad against Bobby Green in spots, man. Like, he didn't look bad. And I don't think Paddy Pimblett's Bobby Green at this fucking point. You know, I don't think a lot of fucking Paddy Pimblett, man. Look, I got really not much to base this on other than I just don't think Paddy Pimblett's good. And I'm getting an insane price on a legend. And, if I can just get what I got out of Tony against Bobby Green, I think that might be good enough. And at this kind of price, it's another one of those to where fucking show me, Paddy. Like, he's coming off the layoff. Fucking, I'm sure the dude was fucking 220 at one point, shoving cheeseburgers down his neck. So Tony stays ready. Tony's with some new guru, quote unquote guru. Yeah, man, plus 260. I'm just taking a little shot here and hoping that Tony can pull something out against this fucking guy that just don't like.
This is good matchmaking by the UFC. Oh my goodness. Somebody is joining us from a boat.
The boat!
I'm on a boat, motherfuckers.
Look at this, motherfucker.
Where's Ken Griffey at, baby?
Dude, ridiculous. This dude has his logo engraved on like the floor mats of his boat. This is insane.
The Griffey fucking Express.
I'm probably gonna get sued for this shit. I'm gonna go record this podcast from Ken Griffey Jr.'s fishing boat.
Let's go.
I'm not, no lie. We're docked next to Ken Griffey Jr.'s like 6 million. Each of these engines right here is worth like $750,000 each. This motherfucker, you probably can't see this, but here we go. I'm gonna have to throw a flashlight.
He's
on
like,
here.
I gotta show you the goods.
He's got his like Ken Griffey Jr. logo engraved on his mats of this boat.
Fire.
He's got it engraved on like the fucking coolers on this boat. It's in. I don't know if you can actually see that or not, but it's apparently this is like a $6 million fishing boat that Ken Griffey Jr. has at this marina that we're chilling at. So it's
not a big deal.
We're living the good life.
Not a big deal.
We're living the good life here.
Love it.
I thought you were Canadian, motherfucker. What are you doing?
I'm trying to enjoy some weather.
Oh, it's nice. So it looks great.
Yeah. We're supposed to get like 50 millimeters of rain. Do you guys know what millimeters are in America town? It's a lot of rain.
We know what meters are. We just don't.
That's 2 inches for freedom units right there.
We're idiots.
Anyway,
so how's life down there, man? Looks good.
We just went did some trivia at one of the local breweries down here. We finished 4th. There were a couple America-specific questions. Like, what are the states with the highest violent crime?
I mean, it could be any of them.
Who
How
has
hell
the
are you supposed
most
to know
guns
that?
per capita? You know, how are you gonna get those?
We actually went and shot guns today. You know, they were like, "Does anyone with you know how to shoot a gun?" And my father-in-law was like, "Yeah." He was in the reserves and stuff. He was like, "Yeah, I know how to shoot a gun." They were like, "Well, can you take the magazine out and lock the slide?" That's our safety test. And
Nice.
like, I can do that. So we got in, we started shooting. I'm shooting texts over here, but
It's fun.
yeah, it's
Shooting's fun. Like, it's a good time.
you know what? It's an enjoyable activity. I still don't get it, but that's a conversation for a different day. I'm sorry for interrupting you guys. Let's get on with the show.
Nah, shit. We're glad you're here. On a
Hey,
boat.
what is how much sadness is Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett gonna be?
Zero sadness because Tony Ferguson's going to win.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been training with
What?
the Marines. What, you're betting against the Marines? I'm down here in America. I can't bet against the Marines.
That's
What do we
fair.
got for a lot?
That's-
This is a big number here, isn't it?
Yeah, plus 260. I mean, me and Sean's gone through a couple of these to where Vicente Luque is plus 280, Josh Emmett is plus 195. I mean, there's some big numbers on some old wily vets here.
Over 1.5 here is a tremendous parlay piece because Paddy Pimblett has no finishing ability whatsoever. And I don't think Tony doesn't have that pace anymore where he can just get guys out of there just because he's putting it on them. So if you want to take this over 1.5 minus 200, throw that in a parlay, I think that's money. I'd probably even look at the over 2.5 because I think this is going to end up in a decision.
Well, I mean, I already got a spot I love where I got a 1.5. I need to marry up with another 1.5. We got like a top 10 t-shirt in the pool fucking fight going on earlier in the card that I'm going to do the 2.5, but the 1.5 and under 2-1, it's just like, whoo.
Yeah.
We might put those together.
There you go.
I tossed a half a unit on Tony at plus 250. He is pretty washed. But like Wes said, he has rounds of decentness, and I still think those rounds of decentness are better than Paddy Pimblett. It's just eventually it falls apart. If Paddy is the one to get rid of it, then is what it is. But plus 250, I'll take Ferg. It's gonna be sad though. That's what I think.
That's what I'm saying. Might as well lose some money too if you're gonna.
I know. I mean, I'm planning on losing lots of money on this card, so I might as well spread it around.
We're on so much of the same shit. We're not gonna win a bet.
It's gonna be very bad. Welterweight division.
I'm on Elon shit.
Yeah,
We're
got that Starlink, son.
That's what you got to use on a boat. So we're working with the Elon shit.
Yeah, you got the much better than whatever the hell else you could be.
Don't let it control your boat. It might drive you up the dock into the fucking marina.
Welterweight division. The Shaved Cat is taking on Wonder Bread. What do you got, Wes?
I mean, what can you really have here? You know, Shaved Cat's the real. I don't think that's going too much out on a limb. I think we all kind of think this is the future champ at 170. I don't think this is like a great fight for Shaved Cat to like really show out. I think Wonder Boy could probably keep this kind of like slow and kind of keep him at bay a little bit, but I think this is going to be a pretty clear decision win for Shaved Cat. He'll get off at points in this fight. I'm just not sure he gets Wonder Boy out of there. Wonder Boy's a really tough guy to finish, just the way he fights. So I got Shave Cat at a pretty better number. It's really juice, but I got Shave Cat at a much better number with another guy on this card that gets him down to around minus 120 or something like that. So I like that parlay, and this probably goes 15 minutes. So I'm not sure what Shave Cat bad decision is. But I don't think that's a bad look if it's not too bad of a number. I'm gonna look at that real
It's like
quick.
plus 250.
I mean, Shave Cat by decision at plus 250 is definitely worth a bet, and in my opinion. So I will probably throw a little bit on that. And like I said, I got that money line parlay just in case Shave Cat does Shave Cat things and gets even Wonder Boy Thompson out of there.
Bradley.
Yeah, this is it's a tricky one. Obviously, he's got all finishes throughout his career, but usually takes a little bit of time to get there. But even if you try and like middle that somehow and take like a starts round 2, that's, I think I saw like minus 290 and like some ridiculous number for starts round 2, which do I really want to bet minus 300 that Shave Cat's not going to knock this old man out in the first round? Not really. I think Wes got that good number early on and kind of unbettable at this point. So yeah, I'm probably going to end up passing on this one, but you got to think Shave Cat's going to get it done.
I landed on a Shave Cat over 2.5 same game parlay at old Bet365 at plus 225. I think the concern is that Shave Cat will be able to get him down and possibly sub him, but you know, Thompson's shown some pretty good submission defense, couldn't get subbed by Gilbert, and Gilbert had him down a ton in that fight. Wonder Boy is a tough guy to figure out on the feet, and like you said, Brad, Shave Cat does take some time to figure some guys out. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one actually goes to decision, even though he's never gone. This might be the guy to do it. So yeah, 1 unit plus 225 on that same game parlay. I think it's going to be fairly clear, but you know, in the past, Stephen Thompson's made fights that probably shouldn't have been close. So it is a bit scary, but I think the Shave Cat is the real, as Wes said. Co-main event, flyweight championship, Pantoja, Royval, Dos. What you got, Wes?
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely my favorite fight on the entire card. This is just sick, absolute banger. Man, Pantoja winning that title is up there for me, man. Like the Bronx and Glover. Some with these my Brazilian brethren that these dudes fucking just breaking through, man. That Pantoja win though, man. Post fight, just all of it was fucking excellent. This fight's gonna be absolute fucking bonkers. Like these dudes are gonna throw. They're gonna fucking scramble. I think it eventually gets into some scrambly shit, and we see pretty much about the same kind of fight. I think. I just think on the mat, Royval is, you know, could he pull something out? Yes, the dudes just they get wild and shit happens. He could catch something, but man, I don't know if there's a better back taker, backpacking, choke you out dude in the sport than Pantoja is. And I have a hard time seeing Royval keeping Pantoja off him for 25 minutes. Like he better pull something off and do it fairly early in the fight, or I just think he's going to be put in those positions too many times to where Pantoja's eventually going to get a hold of him. I mean, on the feet, like we've seen Pantoja's chin, his volume. I mean, that dude will just continue to throw bombs on the feet. He does not give a fuck. I'm not sure Royval's got the power to stop Pantoja. So I like Pantoja here. That's who I put with Shave Cat. I got that at around, I think it's minus 120 or so, something like that. So I like that. And man, Pantoja by sub, I think he could probably get him another one of those backpack rear naked chokes. I haven't played that yet. I was waiting to see the line get posted widely. So what is that now? Plus 155 at Bet Online. It's still about the best play. So not sure that gets too much better. Might just go ahead and take that. I like Pantoja by sub, but man, I really like his money line. It's been under 2-1 pretty much all week. It's starting to creep up now a little bit of money coming in on Pantoja, but I think I got like minus 190 in the parlay. I love Pantoja under 2-1 here.
Brad, will the Raw Dog get his way on Saturday?
I'd be lying if I said that the way that first fight was trending doesn't scare me a little bit for Pantoja, because it looked like, honestly, Royval was starting to take over with some cardio, some volume, putting it on Pantoja a little bit. And then Pantoja took his back, choked him out, as he does. So that, I think it's probably going to repeat itself. Royval's going to have his moments because that dude offensively is tremendous, but he physically, maybe mentally a little bit, falls apart in any fight where somebody pushes back. And if there's a guy whose best win is his best win, like Steve France, is that his best win? I don't think a guy who has only pulled that off is going to beat Pantoja. So I actually took a little bit of Pantoja minus 170 earlier in the week. Well, I could still access all of my stuff. Up to minus 190 now. I still think it's worth it for parlays. Pantoja, we picked him to be champ at the end of the year. Unanimous across the board. Got to stick with it at this point. Can't abandon him 2 weeks away from the end of the year.
I agree with both of you guys. What we saw in that Brandon Moreno fight last time out from Pantoja was amazing. He did gas a bit and he was still able to push through, get takedowns, and Royval's takedown defense is horrible. So there is a chance that, Pantoja does, if he doesn't get him early, it does kind of slow down. But I think his takedowns and his back taking is so good that he's able to push through that. And Royval's takedown defense is terrible. So I agree with you. I think that he at some point gets the back and gets the choke. Like Wes said, I think Royval's chances, he needs to land something early and wild and put Pantoja out, because over the long run, even with that first fight kind of looking like it might go away, after seeing what he did against Moreno, I am still confident that he can push through that and get a second win. So I put him with Garbrandt for a unit at plus 136.
Oh boy, LR.
No big deal. Brad.
Said MMA analysis must pay good. Brad's got a boat.
Right? Yeah. Hanging out with Junior.
I mean, he's hanging out with fucking Griffey Jr. What are you talking about?
On to the main event. Welterweight championship. Leon Edwards, somehow, who is the champ, is taking on Colby Covington. What do you got, Wes?
Yeah. I hope I don't get caught speeding on this one. Last fight of the year. This is going to be a pretty big bet for me. Look, I don't know. I see quite a few people drinking the Leon Kool-Aid at this point. And like, I just got to ask, like, have y'all watched his last couple fights? You know what I'm saying? Like, for him to be like this big of a fave against Kobe is just, it's kind of wild to me. I mean, he's literally getting trucked by no knee Usman in the first fight, pulls it out. Props, you know what I'm saying? You caught it. Up until that point, he was getting fucking smashed. He wasn't looking like great in the second fight, in my opinion. Like, people think that was like a great performance. Like, coming into that fight, like, all we talked about was like how like bad Usman had started to look. Knee shot, can't move anymore. He was still in like deep in that fight against Usman. That was a close fucking fight. I think the things Usman did in those fights, Colby can just do that and more. You know what I'm saying? Like the pushing Leon against the cage and controlling him, the output, the pressure, the cardio is going to be just way different than Usman's cardio. Usman faded bad in both of those fights. Cody's not fading in these fights. That pressure and that pace and that output is going to be there for 25 minutes. I mean, it's just all comes down to me. I think Colby's just the way better fighter. I don't understand the line here. I don't understand. I guess just recent past performance. Okay, if you want to make Leon the fade based on that, I guess I get it. I just think this is two different levels of fighter. I think Colby's still probably it's always been the second best 170er on the planet behind Usman. Like that was a bad matchup for Colby. However you feel about the dipshit, and I'm sure as fuck don't like him. The dude is a tremendous fighter. His skills are incredible. He's so well-rounded. I like him big in this fight. I can't believe the price is starting to move to Colby going up to a bigger dog. I cannot believe that. I thought I've done hit Colby a couple times because I thought the Colby money would start coming in towards this weekend, and it's looking like it's going the opposite way. Keep it coming, I guess. I'm going to end up with a lot of money on Colby, and I guess if I lose a bunch of money on Colby and he gets starched by Leon Edwards, I won't feel as bad because I hate fucking Colby Covington. But I got a big bet on him. I like Colby here. I don't know if he gets a finish on Leon. Leon's really, really tough. But I think this is going to be a wide decision for Colby.
Brad, are you drinking the tea on Leon Edwards?
I think what you did there. I like that because he's English and the tea. Well done. Appreciate that. If you're betting Colby, you've got to take him by decision, right? Mm-hmm. Like, this man has a broken rib finish in his entire UFC career. Broken rib finish over Woodley. Third round against Max Griffin, third round against Jonathan Mounier, and like the scrubs that he fought when he first came into the UFC. He's not going to finish a high-level fighter.
He doesn't even try to finish.
No, he never does.
Yeah. So Colby decision plus 250. I could see that. I could see a little bit of value there. I don't know. I think I'm kind of drinking the tea though. I think that the way Colby tries to grapple, Leon matches up well with that. I think he can win some of those clinch wrestling exchanges, or maybe not win, but negate the clinch wrestling exchanges like he did against Usman. Obviously, he's the better striker. Maybe Colby can just crowd him and win on volume. But again, that points to a Colby decision if you're betting that way. So I am a little bit tempted on the Colby decision, just because I'm seeing that higher plus number. But man, there's so many people on it. It's not moving at all. In fact, as Wes said, it's moving in the opposite direction. I think Leon retains. What was Colby's last good performance? Like, it's been a long time since he's put anything good on the board. And
the thing is, he doesn't have to have good performances to win. That's the difference.
But like, is Leon's 2 wins over Usman like these great performances?
Yeah,
like he was getting his ass whooped.
He wasn't getting his ass whooped. He was losing the first. He
was losing
widely losing the fight.
Yeah,
widely.
Yeah. I thought he won the first round, and won the last round, obviously. And then the second fight was very competitive. And Colby has had 2 very competitive fights with Usman as well. So I think we're kind of looking at 2 guys that should be closer to even here. and that line's starting to drift. And the biggest edge that I can see is Colby by decision. So I think half unit, maybe go a unit there. But man, maybe it's just because I'm in Florida. I'm seeing all these Trump flags all around.
Starting to swing. He held a gun today and shit. He's just gone now.
Yeah, I was just giggling.
Brad's closing
Colby.
in on his fucking. Yeah, he's closing on his winter home now. Dude's signing the papers tomorrow.
I'm still not completely sold on Leon Edwards. Yeah, like I just don't know how much of it was Usman is fading or he's actually good. Like, I understand he's good. He's got a good overall game. I just don't think he's elite. I think he has good timing. This guy wasn't doing amazing against Nate Diaz in 2021. That's coming from a Nate Diaz fan.
Knocked him out.
Nate had one combo in that fight.
I understand that, but
but Leon didn't.
You think
what
would Colby, or even what would Usman do to Nate Diaz?
What did Colby do against Jorge Masvidal? Like, come on. Like, if we're playing that game,
that's fair. But he would have. Yeah, it's fair. That's fair. I just don't have too much belief in Leon Edwards. I understand he's a good overall fighter. I think this is a close fight. It's hard to know what Colby Covington is just because, you know, he kind of fought old guys and he hasn't been active, and his game is very good, and he seems like he has almost endless cardio and in the wrestling and stuff like that. How does that match up against Edwards? I know Edwards was able to kind of nullify what Usman did for the most part. Colby has a much different game, in my opinion, when it comes to wrestling. He's got
two knees that are all there.
That helps. He's
a 35-year-old welterweight coming off an almost 2-year layoff.
Not ideal. It's not ideal, and I understand
he's on a fresh cycle. He's just on a fresh cycle.
That could be as well. I'm taking the shot on the underdog. If it's kind of a win-win. If Edwards somehow just knocks him out,
good.
That's not a bad thing. If Covington blue balls the shit out of him for 5 rounds, I win some money. Not.
This should be the Biden impeachment vote. This fight. That's it. Colby wins, he gets impeached. Leon wins, he keeps riding.
It might be that. It is definitely the consensus bet of the week at plus 145. So
Brad does like decision. So
I did take decision at plus 260 for half a unit. I also played him straight 1.5 units. That's probably wasted money because, as you said, he finishes nobody. He doesn't really try. He doesn't do anything. He just blue ball guys. He's for a Republican. He really likes to be skin on skin with a man more than I think he probably should. So
he just wants to send it to the Supreme Court. They've got it stacked. They need to change the judging in MMA to 9 judges, and he'll be good.
LR, we appreciate you tuning in every year or every week and blowing up the chat. We appreciate the listens.
Will we be back in 2024? Are you fucking serious? What else we got going on in our fucking lives?
We're gonna try to do the recap and championship prediction probably the first week, because I think the first fight's the second week of January. So that's always a fun show where we bullshit lots.
Thank you, Fred.
We also appreciate you, Fred. I hope everybody has a very good holidays, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever.
Sign up for ToutMaster.
Sign up for ToutMaster. I'll be putting out that info hopefully this weekend, just because I think lots of people are going to be watching. Yeah, we talked about it at the start.
We were talking about it.
It's probably one of the closer top 10s in ToutMaster history. So
our boy Beast Mode was right there for a win, man. I was pulling for our boy Beast Mode. I saw him up there for months, man. He slipped.
I wanted to see Z-Barb, our boy Zach, pull off the back-to-back, but couldn't quite make it. But I think he's going to go top 10 a couple years in a row.
Yeah, our boy Z-Bar, he's a good. Gave the boys a tip last year too on the win, which is always nice.
Always appreciated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be like the 8th year we do it. So yeah,
that's crazy.
Going strong,
keeping people interested in the UFC. You're welcome, the UFC, because I don't know if some of these people would tune in every week if we weren't running ToutMaster.
Will Lance be cured of AIDS in 2024?
He's getting that. We're trying. We're fundraising for a cure.
He has gotten like 7 booster shots, and the man formed a new form of AIDS. Like nobody knows what the fuck this man's carrying. Hopefully we get Lance back a little more, but Lance, like Sean said, is going to the Eastern time zone. So I think we're going to see less of Lance.
Is that possible?
We might see him more on the podcast, but I think it's tough because I don't think he's going to watch UFC anymore because it's going to be like 1 a.m. when it finishes.
I feel like Lance watches more than I do. I've watched like probably 40% of the fights this year, but I just cut out all the prelim bullshit. It's not me anymore.
No.
And we got a banger this week, at least to end the year.
We do have a stacked one this week. But yeah, we'll be back in 3 weeks, roughly. Hope to see you guys there. Hopefully everybody who listens signs up for ToutMaster, and we can get a nice big group again.
Enjoy the holidays, people.
Prize pool.
Later, folks.